Really, when we say space, we're talking about the visual blanks, the space between elements in our design. But empty space is not wasted space. Empty space is good. Empty space lets the design breathe. And breathing is essential for both designing for the web and sustaining human life. Added space, usually between containers or sections or paragraphs, makes things more legible and less crowded. And while the foreground of a design is critical, it's really important to focus on how much you see of the background, the space available outside of or behind the foreground. Even just adding some extra empty space to a design can make all the difference in the world. And we'll go over the exact techniques to achieve this on the web using padding and margin. We'll do this later in the course. Empty space also lets us create rhythm. This is everywhere. Let's look at this version of the Calendly homepage. It's a really clear design. There are 3 illustrations here. Each of them has companion text. They all have space between. And the text associated with each illustration is a bit closer. It may seem obvious just looking at it, but that's the point. The space and the proximity create natural groupings. This is a great thing to experiment with. And it can be illustrated in a really practical way using headings. When we experiment by adding space and removing space, we're not just changing the groupings, we're changing pace, and we're changing the visual rhythm of the design. And this is often a frustration with captions. Depending on the spacing, it can change the meaning for someone glancing at a design. For instance, if there's equal space between the images and the captions on both sides, it's not intuitively clear what the caption is referring to. But if we adjust the spacing even just a little bit, it becomes more obvious. It's more obvious which caption is grouped with each image. And this is something to continuously revisit. As you're looking at designs that stand out to you, take note, screenshot them, bookmark them, tell your friends and neighbors, celebrate great design. But let's look at this practically. And we'll do this on the computer, but not with web design at first. We'll start with Mac OS. A lot of these things apply to other platforms too. And we want to focus on the upper navigation here in the Finder. The huge amounts of horizontal space here between each of these groupings isn't just separating the actions. The proximity is actually grouping these actions. For back and forward navigation, that's a grouping. Even in our display controls, we have a group of 4, each representing a different way to display files. Then a space, a separate button for how the files are arranged, and separate buttons for tasks, sharing, and labels. All of those are in one grouping. The primary actionable buttons are spread into those 3 groups: navigation, display and file-based actions, and search. Same thing for the close, minimize, and maximize buttons, a single, clean grouping. And what about the sidebar? Each item has an icon to the left. They're pretty close. And each category, while it has a label, is grouped with proximity too. The largest spaces here, besides the space around the content, are between each of these categories. On the web, a classic example is Google. When you search for something on Google, the results pages are all about space and proximity. And because of that, search results are visually grouped together. The space between the results is always greater than the space between each thing that makes up the results. Let's look at Stripe's Connect page. There's a great balance on both sides. The space between different thoughts, groupings, ideas, and the proximity between the elements that make up those groupings. This makes each area of their design digestible and organized. Now, everything we're covering here with space, this is going to come up over and over in the rest of this course as we design and develop for our client. But for now, that's space.